welcome to the Fantasy Football Mafia. And
Today,
we have Joey.
We are joined by special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Brian Fruzon. How's it going, Brian?
I'm not doing so good right now, man. I'm doing
Explain.
We got Joey here. You can tell he's a Raider fan. So we'll speak very, very slowly so he can comprehend everything.
Okay.
Joey actually is the only member of our fantasy football league to ever go undefeated in a season.
And lost,
What
actually,
happened
still in the
after that?
playoffs, man. I lost in the semis or the finals. I forget.
It was the game to go to the championship. He was basically like the 2007 Patriots. And no one can beat him.
Mm-hmm.
He had a great team. Like almost every player on his team was like ranked number one at his position.
There was a big CMC year. I remember you trying to give me like trade offer after trade offer for CMC that year.
Yeah.
For sure.
and someone came and slayed the dragon. Do you remember who came in and finished your undefeated season off?
Yeah. It was Brian.
That was me.
That was Brian.
That was me. So
I hate to say it.
let people know.
It hurts. That one stings still, man. I mean, why you got to remind me of old stuff, man? Come on now.
Yeah, I wouldn't get over that.
Yeah, that was.
But anyway, I really want to wear this hat. I did wear this hat because I did want to kind of make things a little spicy since you guys were, trash talking the Raiders and talking about. I mean, I'm a little chunky. I gained some weight during the pandemic. So what is it, guys? What's up?
We're all wearing Raider colors.
We'll get there. I mean,
Andrew, what's up, man? I'm holding it down for us right here, baby.
Yeah, at least you're brave enough.
Holding it down for all the fat people. Let's go.
But we don't really have any Raiders on the list.
I'm fluffy. Yeah, that's true. We don't.
We probably won't until we get to Waller. It's probably the only player worth.
Yeah, that's like the only Raider. Wow.
You guys did Josh Jacobs dirty. I'll say that in the running back ratings.
We did.
No, he deserves it. He definitely deserves it. But let's go through the 11 through 20 rankings.
Yeah, let's get started. We're gonna put a consensus of all our three rankings together. And with that being said, number 11, we have Amari Cooper. I have Amari Cooper at 11 at the spot he's originally at. We both touched on him a little bit, me and Brian, with the last episode. We both like him a lot. Brian has a little bit higher. The thing with me, I mean, with all the Cowboys receivers, it's like a gold mine. I think they're all going to be fantasy relevant. But you have CeeDee Lamb who's coming up, and I think the target's going to go a little bit more towards his side. They're going to try to get him going. But there's still a lot to go around, which is why I like Cooper. He's gotten away from that boom or bust kind of player. Within the last few years, he's been way more consistent. I mean, he's been a wide receiver 20 out of the 41 games with the Cowboys, which is pretty amazing. So, there's not really much bad I could say. The only reason why I have him a little bit out of the top 10 is because the Cowboys have just so much to go around.
I agree. Yeah, man. A lot of mouths to feed. In the games of that Dak was healthy last year, he was healthy until game 5 or week 5, I should say. Although as soon as he left, Amari completely disappeared from that game, which he tended to do when he was with the Raiders. So, like you said, boomer bust. That was when he was with the Raiders. And then, but from weeks 1 through 4, 37 receptions on 51 targets, 2 games over 100 yards. I mean, that just tells you what's to come in the offense, even with so many mouths to feed, 51 targets in those 4 games. I mean, he's just a target monster. So we're talking about PPR. Of course, that's the only setting to play. Everybody, just reminding everybody of that.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and he never.
Amari was also, just for people who don't remember, he was ranked number 1 wide receiver before Dak got hurt. He was number 1.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was ranked number 1 wide receiver.
Yep.
So
it was murking. Like that whole offense was murking because their defense gave up so many points. So they always had to throw the ball. So I mean, they didn't get too much better, as you guys touched on last episode as well. But the defense should be a little bit better. But we still all expect this Dallas offense to be OP.
Yeah, I have him higher than you guys, but it's and we pretty much all have him around that 10th or 11th rank.
Yeah, I had him 11th as well.
Yeah, so he's definitely a good pickup.
For sure.
For sure. Heading to number 12 on our list, our consensus pick is Allen Robinson, number 12. Brian also had him in his top 10. Me and Joey both at 12, correct?
Correct. Yes, I did.
For me, it's just it's all about opportunity when it comes to Allen Robinson. He gets so much volume, so much targets in that offense, even though the quarterback situation is a little messy. We don't know. I guess it's Dalton going to be starting the first few games. Who knows when he's going to get benched? My prediction is probably week 3, week 4 when he's getting killed. And
I was like, what is he doing? Some DJ work over there?
Yeah, he does that on the side. DJ Baldy.
Cue the Jeopardy music till he comes back.
Yeah, man.
You're gonna edit this out, right?
I don't. It's hard to edit in the middle. Like I know how to edit in the beginning and the end.
Got you.
So like cut at that part. So just gonna have to deal with it.
We wish we could put up like a little graphic until he comes back. Turn off his mic or something.
Dope. Oh, like a Jeopardy kind of thing.
Something. Or like that SpongeBob, where it said 5 minutes.
Yeah. I love that.
Anyway, we'll keep it going though. A-Rob, like you said, target monster, clear number 1 target in that offense, even with Andy Dalton expected to be QB1. Even with bad QB play, when he was with Jacksonville and then he went to Chicago, he's put up ridiculous numbers. It's Allen Robinson. He's ridiculous. He's freakish athlete, great route runner. Honestly, I think he's up there in top route runners in the league. So that he gets separation. He's just got great hands. So he's going to be always a secure option if you're going to go and choose Robinson at the as like a wide receiver, high wide receiver too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's very safe. Like he's a very safe receiver. It's not someone I would like grab in the first round or anything, but
if you have Allen Robinson, who would you rather have as the quarterback throwing to him, Dalton or the rookie?
Fields, man.
Rather have Fields?
100%. Fields is going to be the best quarterback. I'm going to say this now. Fields is going to be the best rookie quarterback in this class. I'm going to say that right now.
Well, aren't you Ohio State?
Who's your call?
Look, I have a bias, but I will say
sounds like a bias.
Look.
I am biased, but
but I'm gonna explain. I mean, he actually knows how to read coverages. One of the actually I read the knocks on his draft profile saying he's a little uneasy about reading coverages. He can read coverages. He goes through 1 through 4, 1 through 5 in a progression. And I've seen it on tape. I watch a lot of games. I record a lot of Ohio State games and rewatch them. Yes, I'm that much of a film nut. The kid is great. So I don't.
Let me ask you this: what was your thoughts on Dwayne Haskins coming out of college? Then
I didn't think he was ready. I wasn't high on him. No, he wasn't ready.
Is that on record?
No. I mean, I don't know if anybody. I was not. I mean, I maybe have some text messages I can show you, but I didn't like him at all. I'll try to go through my text thread history and I'll see if I can find some for you guys.
I guess we'll believe you.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I had Cooper when Dalton was throwing to him, and Dalton he stares down the number 1 wide receiver. I mean, he's not the best quarterback, so I mean, I don't know if he goes through his progressions very good, but he'll stare down that number 1 wide receiver. When I was watching Cowboys game, because I had Cooper, and Cooper had a lot of throws his way, so I don't think it. Again, I think Dalton would be the better quarterback for fantasy for Robinson, because I'd rather have the veteran besides the rookie. But
you're probably going to get worse efficiency because I mean you saw that CeeDee Lamb and we're going to probably talk about him a little later, and Amari Cooper, their efficiency I think I mean I don't know the exact stats, but I'm sure that their efficiency was not as great as if Dak was in there. So because he stares down receivers. So what I'm saying is perhaps Justin Fields in year 1 still might not be up to par what Andy Dalton is as a vet, but in my opinion, as he continues to get better and more reps, Justin Fields is going to be a household name.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
13 is someone me and Brian had in our top 10. I think maybe in our top 8. But Joey, you have him way back at like 13 or 14, I believe. And this is
14.
Keanen Allen.
14, yeah, I do.
Yeah, so
hold on.
I want to say something. Hold on, Brian. So there's a big difference between Brian's ranking of DK Metcalf, which is at 14, I think.
To mine with DK as well.
And your DK. So why don't you guys explain why? Well, first we'll start with you, Joey. Why do you have Keanen Allen at 13, and why is DK so much higher?
Yeah. Wait, what do you have DK at?
I have DK at 5, bro.
He might not even be the best receiver on the team.
What are you talking about?
Tyler
Who's better than
Lockett
him?
might be
Oh, please.
have
He had
better
how many?
stats than him.
He had 2 games that we had three touchdowns in each game, or at least he had one with 3 and one with 2. And those were, he had like what, 6 or 7 touchdowns the whole season. So he had majority of his touchdown
I don't think
production in
it's
2
that
games.
far off. I don't think it's too far off.
It's just
I
that
think
it's,
the draft
it's-
capital that you spend on DK Metcalf will be way too high compared to what you can get Tyler Lockett for, in my opinion.
Well, as far as for value, if you're thinking for value, I think that's a great point. I want to applaud you for that. I mean, and telling people that as far as value wise, and if you're not trying to be as aggressive with me on a receiver that I'm just bullish on completely, yeah, Tyler Lockett's not a bad player to get, especially if his value drops and his ADPs drops. That's 100%. But as far as why I'm so high on DK is just because he was, like you mentioned, Amari Cooper in a small sample size of a season, he was wide receiver 1. DK was probably wide receiver 3 in those early part of the year. You know, I mean, he ended up probably being still in the top 10. I think there's progression with him too. I think he's only getting better with his route running, his chemistry with Russell Wilson in that offense. He's the clear red zone target, and red zone targets, obviously, we want to get those touchdowns, man.
So I'll put it like this. A lot of the top wide receivers we have, such as Hill, Adams, Diggs, you know, we have their Hopkins, we have their quarterbacks ranked at the very top as well. So do you have Russell Wilson ranked at basically top 5, top 6?
No, I have him at 6. I have Russ at 6.
Oh, okay. So you have him at 6. Okay. We didn't even have him like in the top 10, right?
Yeah,
I think
think
8 or 9.
I mean, I know there's a run first offense because that's how Pete Carroll, you know, always does things. I mean, he obviously, although I guess that one play against the Patriots Super Bowl, he ignored Marshawn Lynch, but they're still largely a run first offense. But I think they saw the success. I'm hoping, I'm anticipating that they saw the let Russ cook success, and I think they should go more to that, or at least do the play action stuff, man, and get those receivers out in space and maybe on single coverage or over the top of the defense, especially with that speed on DK.
Yeah, I mean, they have to get him the ball. He's just such a beast, and he's going to be the number 1 guy.
His ADP is basically toward the top of the second round. So is that someone that you'll?
If he's at the top, I mean, I have him at 5. I think that is top of second round, to be honest with you. I mean, the only people that are probably going in the first round is Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, and Davante Adams. If you go that route, if you don't get the running back you want, right, in a 12-teamer. So here's it's probably top of the second.
Here's some of the players that's going around top of the second then. Mm-hmm. So would you rather have Metcalf or Najee Harris?
Metcalf for sure. I'm not as high on Najee as a lot of people are.
Yeah,
I know there's volume. I know volume is king, but I think his ADP is too high, in my opinion, because that O-line is horrible.
How about this? DK Metcalf. Let's say you already got Kelsey or Hill in the first round, and there's Kelsey still available in the second round, and DK Metcalf's laying there.
Wait, so you say Kelsey's still there?
Yeah.
I'm probably taking Kelsey.
How about Hill? Oh, Hill.
I love Hill. Hill's my number 1. Hill's my number 1.
How about Mahomes?
No, I won't take Mahomes that early. No. Unless, like you said, if it's top, let's say I have 12, 13, the turn, I might stack like a Mahomes with Kelsey or a Mahomes with Tyreek.
What I'm saying. So if you already got a Hill or a Kelsey and Mahomes is laying there in the back of the second.
I'm big on stacking. So like if we're going to talk about strategy in this episode too, is I'm big on stacking. I do that a lot, and that's what got me a lot of success too. A lot of my teams, you'll see that I'm doing best ball right now.
Yeah, we know how you play.
I have like 12 drafts going right now, and they're all slow drafts. So you know those 8 hours per pick, I did them all. But I'm looking at ADP that way. That's kind of do my initial mock drafts before I go into do some other mocks. But yeah, so I'm big on stacking.
Well, yeah, we'll do a whole episode on strategies.
Yeah. I'm gonna just a one-word answer. I'm gonna have a name that's picked right before DK Metcalf, and I'm gonna have a name that's picked right after DK Metcalf. And you tell me who would you rather have, mm-hmm. Calvin Ridley or DK Metcalf?
I'm higher on DK. I only have Ridley at 8.
I got Ridley on that one.
Darren Waller or Metcalf?
Honestly, though, I mean, DK's more. Actually, you know what? No, I think Waller's going to be number 1 this year. I have Waller ranked number 1. I think he can put up. I think he's going to outbeat Kelsey this year.
I'm asking a guy with a Raiders hat. I don't know what the fuck I'm asking.
No, I mean, I like DK, but I think Waller's going to be. I think Waller's going to be the surprise this year. I know that. I guess maybe not too much of a surprise because some people probably have him like ranked number 2 at tight end, but I have him beating Kelsey this year.
Yeah, we'll get into the tight ends the next.
I'm gonna take this off now that you guys keep doing that to me.
Thank you.
I'll take that off.
So All right, we spent way too much time on DK Metcalf. Let's go
Yeah, he's not
Keenan
worth it.
Allen.
Well, no, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we want to touch on Keanen, right? I
Yeah,
mean, I
Keanen
wanted to
Allen.
hear why you guys have him in the top 10 still.
So Joey, you have him outside the top 10. You have him at 13 or is it 14?
14 actually.
So explain why.
I'm staying on brand. I told a numerous amount of people that I'm predicting a sophomore slump for Justin Herbert for a variety of different reasons. Coaching changes for young quarterbacks are really critical. Yeah, Joe Lombardi, this and that. I mean, he did have a horrible season and a half. I think it was with Detroit when it was at prime Megatron days, and he got replaced by Jim Bob Cooter. And Stafford and Megatron ended up ascending with Jim Bob Cooter at the helm, other than Joe Lombardi. Not to say that history will repeat itself. I mean, that's the worst of the worst of what happened in that situation in his career as a coordinator. But I mean, complete overhaul of the coaching staff is big, but also the history and the track record of rookie quarterbacks replicating what they did in year one. The one that always comes to mind is RG3. I mean, he tore the league up. And then next year, obviously, injuries happened, but, just didn't repeat itself. I think the only quarterback that replicated a strong rookie season has been Kyler Murray, and put up better numbers, actually, than his rookie year. I don't think Justin Herbert's going to repeat that performance. I just don't. So no, it's not because of that. It's not bias. It's not because of that.
Watch him shit on everyone in division.
I also look. I'll say this. Let me speak, man. Let me speak. The thing about Justin Herbert, I was one of those people that was I was part of that parade of saying Justin Herbert's shouldn't be a good quarterback, like from out the gate. So I wasn't really high on him out of Oregon, not just because he was going to the Chargers. So I put my foot in my mouth on that one. I ate it. It didn't taste good. It didn't taste good. Oh, see, there you go. But I'm going to be bullish in year two on the fact that he's going to have a sophomore slump, and that's why I also have Keanen a little lower. The rise of Mike Williams. I think the absence of Hunter Henry.
What rise?
Joseph, do you see a rise to catch the ball and then the fall?
That's only right.
That dude can go up and get it when he's
and then he comes down injured and misses the next 3 games.
You know what? I mean, hey, look. We'll see if he's completely injury prone. I think Mike Williams' ascension just because of a couple people out of the offense now. I'm drafting him a little earlier than expected, and also Keenan's on a PPR monster. He's still a high ceiling. I still have him at a strong wide receiver too. I'm not saying that he's going to be completely horrible. He's a for sure high floor, low ceiling guy. But I just don't expect him to be in the top 10.
All right, so basically you're expecting Herbert to have a slump. You're not expecting Allen to get as much targets as he was, or just Herbert being off. Okay.
I mean, he's going to be a good cornerstone of your team if you're going to pick Keanen Allen. I'm not saying he's going to be like a complete dud, but
he is going against the Raiders defense twice a year. So I mean, those are going to be two.
You know who knows him pretty well though? Casey Hayward, right? He just came from the Chargers, so he went up with one-on-ones with him a lot. I saw that. I was watching Hard Knocks the other year when they were featured on Hard Knocks. Casey Hayward got his in against Keanen, so they know each other quite well.
Ooh,
who's the quarterback throwing to him though?
At that point, I think 2 years ago. It wasn't Justin Herbert, but whatever. Yeah. Well, who was it? Do you even know? I remember.
No, it was he's playing for Texans now.
Tyrod.
Oh, Tyrod.
Yeah.
Tyrod.
All right, guys. It's we gave our take on Allen on the last episode. We're both pretty high on him. I think Herbert's still gonna have a pretty good year. I think he's just naturally really talented. And there's a new coaching change. That's true. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So with 14, our consensus is Julio Jones.
Old man Julio.
Yeah, Brian, why don't you get started with Julio Jones? What's your take on
it? I had Julio 15. I just have him strictly based on like a pure talent. I mean, again, I don't know how he's going to fit in with that offense. It's a run-first offense. So, again, I just think he's really good, but I'm kind of skeptical. I'm putting him a little bit higher than some of the other guys because of his talent. It's kind of iffy, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, is it pretty much just pure talent to me too. It's just like it's Julio Jones. I have no idea what he's going to do on his offense. It's a run-first offense. They already have AJ Brown there, but what's his name? Corey Davis as the second receiver on this offense did pretty well last season, and that was Corey Davis. There's a huge difference between Corey Davis and Julio Jones.
Wasn't AJ Brown though like out for those games? When
No, he did okay with AJ Brown there, which
there was a couple though where he ended up early with an ankle. I remember one game specifically, but yeah he did it with him in the lineup.
This is kind of why I'm not too high on AJ Brown this year, because you saw with Corey Davis there, they were trying to, some games they would lean on Corey Davis. And now with Julio Jones there, they're probably going to do that even more. And them being a running team, is it really enough to go around and have AJ Brown like a top 10 guy anymore?
I mean, I view this. One can view this in a similar way of Dallas. I mean, they have a guy that gets the rock a lot, like Zeke, like Derrick Henry. They feed him a lot.
They pass it a lot more in Dallas.
Yes, but our Ryan Tannehill was arguably one of the top 10 quarterbacks in fantasy football for the past couple seasons, so he can tote the rock around, and we saw a little bit from like we just mentioned with Corey Davis. So again, like you said, this is a different talent. He's a different monster. I mean, this guy is a rare combination of size, speed, and hands and route running ability. Only 9 games played last year, right? So injuries. I think that he would have played a couple more games if they were in contention. So the numbers were just a little down. But I did some research here. Okay.
Okay.
The last time someone put up, and I'm using ESPN fantasy scoring here, but over 200 something plus points or whatever. Julian Edelman put up, I think it was 256. He had 100 receptions, 1,117 yards, and 6 touchdowns at the age of 33. Andre Johnson at the age of 32, which is a similar player type to Julio Jones, put up 109 reception, 1,400 yards, and 5 touchdowns at the age of 33 as well, or 32. Yeah, so the same age. I think it could still be done. I think there's still juice left in that, or I guess meat on the bone with Julio Jones. And he's still dominant when he's healthy.
He's going to a completely new offense, new quarterback, new everything. That's the only thing I don't like. It's the only thing.
Hey man, great players can make plays, and I think Ryan Tannehill is a playmaker. Flat
out.
I
like Ryan Tannehill this year for sure.
I'm going to give you. I want one-word answers. Guys who are getting picked right before Julio Jones in the 4th, and guys who are getting picked right after. Let me know who would you rather have, Kyle Pitts or Julio Jones?
Julio Jones.
Wait, say that again. I didn't hear. I'm sorry. I was
Kyle Pitts or Julio Jones?
Julio Jones.
Myles Gaskins or Julio?
Yeah, right. I'm gonna pick a dolphin and make you happy. Julio Jones.
True that. Yeah, Julio Jones.
Myles Gaskins gonna get hurt too. He's too small, man. Way too small to last a 17 game season now, right?
Kyler Murray or Julio Jones?
Julio Jones in the 4th round. Julio Jones.
This is the 4th round.
Yeah, I'm going Julio.
Yeah, they're getting picked right around each other.
That's tough though. Depends on the roster construction, right? I'd say roster construction would dictate that one though. Because if you have Nuke, you might want to pair them up. That's what I'm saying. I'm again stacking. I'm big on that. So roster construction would depend, but majority of the time, because it's only one player like Nuke, and you might not get him. So Julio Jones.
And then with the 15th conscious player that we have is going to be Mike Evans.
Oh, consensus ranking is Mike Evans?
Yeah, I have him at 16th on my personal rankings, 15.
I have him at 16 as well. 16.
He's just another guy that's really talented.
Evans. So, do you guys have Godwin's ahead of Evans, or do you have?
I do. No, I actually have Godwin. I have Godwin ahead of Evans. I have Godwin ahead of Evans too. Egregiously, probably to you guys, but I have him at 13.
Yeah, I'm probably the most. I have Godwin at 21.
Wow. Which is a modest. It's honestly that's probably like the floor, like a fringe wide receiver 2-3-ish. I think. Go ahead, Brian. I want you to explain why you have it 14 because I have him at 13, so we're pretty much the same on that. Go ahead.
Godwin is a slot wide receiver, and
he was last year too.
Yeah,
he was hurt. Playing hurt a lot. Is tough.
Brady is his quarterback. Brady has been known to throw to the slot. Julian Edelman and Wes Welker, his favorite receiver is the slot wide receiver. So Godwin didn't put up amazing numbers last year, but yeah, he was injured a lot last year. So again, if he comes back healthy, he's in the contract year. I don't understand why. If you remember, Evans, from what I remember, wasn't doing that great early on with Brady. Brady was more so just targeting slot wide receiver. Besides,
if I remember correctly, I think it was also because didn't they? I know they played the Saints week 1. I don't know when they played the Saints again, but Marshawn Lattimore 2 years every single year. Marshawn Lattimore is in that boy's pocket with Mike Evans. And I just want to clarify too to our viewers is that the reason why we're talking kind of both of them at the same is because we have consensusly Mike Evans at 15 and Chris Godwin's at 16. So we're just kind of talking about the same. But yeah, on that point, Lattimore got that boy's number, and Mike Evans just throwing it aside like it's nothing, but it's something. Lattimore, there's a sample size there. The Lattimore got him locked up.
Brady is what, like 44?
Something, 43, 44.
Does he have strong enough arm still to keep throwing it to the outside?
Yeah, man, there's not much difference between 43 and 44.
Very strong arm to throw it to the outside.
He's already old. I don't think he's gonna get any worse, in my opinion. Every year, I feel like this is gonna happen. He's gonna get bad. He's not gonna be able to throw anymore. And then he still makes these amazing throws. I'm never doubting Tom Brady again.
Neither am I.
That's on record.
I've been so wrong about. I think I've been saying Tom Brady's gonna fall off this football cliff for the past 5 years, and it hasn't happened yet.
And it never happened. And he always proves us wrong.
That guy, that's that TB12 diet. Maybe I should look into it so I can lose weight for you guys. There you go.
That avocado ice cream, Eddie.
Anyway, I did want to bring this up though. I mean, I just think the reason why I'm so aggressive on Chris Godwin, I've been high on him ever since he came out of Penn State. And I had like 2 Penn State guys back to back, 12 and 13, A-Rob, then Chris Godwin. But only 3 games with less than 5 receptions last year. He gets looks, target share is already solid. He's a solid wide receiver 2. If we include the playoffs last year, to get him a full 16 game sample size, it was pretty similar to his 2019 year, where he had 86 for 1333 and 9 touchdowns. If we include the playoffs, he went for 81 for 1,072 and 8 touchdowns. So it's pretty consistent. He was playing on a bum ankle. I know he was playing hurt in the playoffs too. He didn't do anything in the Super Bowl. Only I think he had 2 catches, but he's still a big role in this offense. And I think you can lock him up for 80 plus catches, over 1,000 yards, and anywhere from between 7 and 9 touchdowns. Yeah,
I see what you're saying. I mean, he did play through his injuries last year. He only had, I think, 1 game more than 100 yards. That was like the last week with Evans injured. Brady's just looks for the open guy. He's not really going to target one specific person.
He prefers the slot wide receiver.
They re-signed Antonio Brown. They have Scotty Miller coming up.
Scotty Miller's just their deep threat, along with just a different wrinkle.
Would you rather have a stud wide receiver on the outside in fantasy, or would you rather have a stud wide receiver in the slot in fantasy?
Depends on the team, I guess. But I want the slot guy for PPR. They're gonna get.
There you go. You just answer your own question right there.
You're answering your own shit.
Yeah, man, and we're gonna get to another slot guy in this next one too. So, you guys have Godwin over Evans? I do.
So is that the only reason? Because he's gonna get more volume? I mean, Evans is gonna get the touchdowns. He's gonna get the long bombs. He's gonna get more yards.
You can't count on touchdowns, man. We can't predict it too much.
I liked it because even when Evans was having bad games, he was still getting touchdowns. It was
true, but see, the touchdowns saved him in a lot of some games too. Like if he didn't get a touchdown, it's horrible.
I believe.
Didn't Evans have like a game where it was like 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, like 20 yards or something?
Yeah, he always gets touchdowns. It's like he's targeting.
He can't count on touchdowns.
But to Yosef's point, and the reason why it's you can almost bank on it, Brian. And I mean I get it, but I mean he's also He's 16 in Mike Evans is 16 on my rankings. What is he on yours?
I think I had him like right around there.
Exactly. So it's not like we're egregiously marking down Mike Evans either, but like the thing is, he is the number 1 red zone target for Brady. It used to be Gronk, but Gronk's getting old and he likes to block more. He even said, "I came here to block." I think he also said that for just so people don't pay attention to him on defense. But at the same time, like I still think that Mike Evans is the number 1 red zone target, and that's why you can probably bank on some touchdowns most weeks. But again, I don't like to bank on touchdowns. And when I'm making my decisions, I like volume, I like targets. And again, we're looking at Mike Evans for 15 games, not 17, because Marshawn Lattimore's there.
1 word answer. Evans is going top of the 4th. Godwin's going top of the 5th.
I like Godwin. I like Godwin.
Now, Yosef, you want it. So you rather have Evans at a round earlier than Godwin? You think he's going to be that much better?
I don't want to pick Godwin. Honestly.
Wow.
I
Okay,
don't
so
have
we have
faith
Peter in
in
the
him.
building. Okay.
You know what?
That's
I
the
want
thing.
you guys to go back in the archives of that 13-0 year. I believe it was Christian. I know Christian McCaffrey headlined my squad.
I
think
never
I
want
also
to look
had-
at that year again.
But I also think I had Alvin
don't
Kamara
mind
because
it.
I think he slipped somehow. And then I think my wide receiver 1 and 2 on that team was Chris Godwin and Cooper Kupp. And those 2019 was a big year for both of them.
Winston.
So that's why, yeah, man, 2019 for Cooper Kupp
Yeah,
and Chris
Godwin or
Godwin.
was it Evans?
I never had Evans. I didn't like
Godwin,
Evans. I've always been high on Chris Godwin, and he was my wide receiver 1. I had him leading my wide receiver core, and it was a great year.
No, he
That's
was
why.
killing it that year, and I was actually high on him last year. But
Was there tight end Kelsey that year too?
I have no idea who my tight end was.
Yeah.
It didn't even matter, dude.
He always has
McCaffrey,
Kelsey.
I think he
Kamara,
had
and
Kelsey.
Godwin, though, man. It was insane.
Yeah,
That year,
Kelsey.
I don't know who was I drafting with. Was you
Yeah,
guys were in that
Tyreek
league?
Hill,
You guys
too.
allowed me to get that squad.
No,
Come on now.
if you remember the chat
Can
that we're
we
having,
still have to talk about this season?
Man,
No,
well, I still
the-
didn't win, man. So let me
the
have a
chat
little
that
bit.
we're having in the draft room. Like I literally kept saying, "Fuck, Joey's drafting all the players that I want." Like every fucking time. I got
great
so
minds
happy
think
when I
alike,
finally-
man.
Yeah, our list is very similar. Yosa's the one that's like completely fucking way off.
Not really. Hey, who won last year, guys?
Yeah, man,
Okay.
whatever.
Literally,
Yeah.
COVID.
Let's move on to the next guy. Let's
All right. I know you're excited to talk about this guy. So 17, we have CeeDee Lamb, rookie from last year. He was a wide receiver 24 last year with a horrible quarterback play. And he had Andy Dalton as quarterback for most of the year. Prescott didn't really get his chance to play with him. So I'm really excited to see what he can do with Prescott for a full
Excuse
season
me.
if he could stay healthy. And I feel like they're going to get him in the offense way more. It could be like a top 10 option this year if he like gets into his stride. So
You think just top 10?
top
he has
10
upside.
receiver.
He
Yeah.
has upside. Is what he's saying, but none of us are putting him in the top 10. But
No,
he
we
does
have
have
Oh, I thought you
upside.
meant in the
Yeah.
offense.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Joey. What excites you about CeeDee Lamb?
I mean, it's the Dallas offense. It's overpowering, man. That's why I say OP. Like Cooper, he had a great first 5 games, and I can actually include the 5 games even when Dak exited early because he was still targeted and tearing it up that fifth game, and Dak got hurt. I think he was 29 for 453 and 2 touchdowns in those 5 games. Ton of targets. He's working out of the slot, and PFF. I guess I did more research, especially with Pro Football Focus. You can't get much better than that.
Guy.
All right, so PFF had him actually as they had a remarkable stat, 93.2% of the snaps in the slot, and it was the best season in the slot. I'm sorry, that's my dog. Best season in the slot since they tracked
He doesn't like that take.
slot data. It was 69 receptions out of the slots, 877 yards, ranked first since that
Wait,
2006.
for
data.
the-
That's an
That's
exciting
insane.
For the
stat.
first 5 games?
Oh, no, that's outside the first 5 games. I'm talking his whole year. He had 93% of his routes in the slot. Although I did read some training camp notes that he's been working outside of the slot too. He's going to be moving around a little bit more because he's such a playmaker. But again, he's best out of the slot, and that was the best season that PFF has ever seen. And even it was from a rookie. So go figure, man. It's big. I like CeeDee Lamb a lot.
Out of the slot wide receiver, he had the best slot season.
That's what it said. Yes.
Brian's in shock right now. He's like, "What?"
Best season out of the slot.
Were we watching the same games? Like the guy fell off completely after week 5.
Hey man,
We're talking about in the
live,
slot
bro.
though. Only in the
I
slot.
mean, they always had him in the slot. I mean,
Did
Gallup looks like
you say he dropped a few balls? Is that what you said?
I don't think he dropped a few balls, but the guy just didn't do shit. Like,
Yeah, had horrible quarterback play.
Yeah, no, he had Ben DiNucci for a little bit too, and like, come on, can't give the guy. You can't knock the guy for that.
All right, Brian, what's your take on CeeDee Lamb? You like him? What's your ranking?
Yeah.
I think we all have him at 17, so we're all pretty.
yeah, Adam at 17.
No, actually, I had. Oh yeah, we did all have him 17. Right? Yep, that's right.
All right, anything to say about Lamb, Brian? That's it. Got it covered. That was
I
a
like
pretty
Lamb
interesting
chop.
stat. It pretty much sums it up.
No. Lamb Chop, CD Lamb Chops. That's our new nickname for him on the
All
show.
right, CeeDee Lamb chops. All right, at 18 consensus, we have Adam Thielen. Joey's the guy who's
Not
doesn't even have him in his top 20. For me, he's the guy I have at think I have him the highest. He's another one of those Mike Evans kind of guys who gets his targets in the end zone, which I like, obviously. Last year, people were doing the same thing on him where they weren't putting him as high as they should. And look what happened. He had like an amazing first 8 games. He had like a touchdown in almost every game. I know Jefferson came in and kind of stole his thunder, but Thielen was still having pretty good games. And it's probably going to happen this year where they're going to lean more towards Jefferson, which is why I kind of put Thielen back a little bit. But he's still going to get his. He's still going to be the red zone target, which I like. And he's okay for PPR as well. So
he's great
100%.
for PPR. He's not good for standard as much, but I think PPR is like a PPR machine. He's like,
we should just stop talking about standard, I think, just so we can rid it from
let's get that
from our lives.
Get that fucking out of the way.
Ain't nobody playing standard.
If you are,
if you are, upgrade your life. Upgrade your life. That's it. I like to say.
Get some new friends.
I had Thielen last season, and he was basically like a red zone machine. Every time they're in the red zone, it was either him or Cook. That was it.
That's what I'm saying.
So great in the red zone. Early on, he got a lot of targets. Toward the end of the season, a lot of it went to Jefferson.
That's the reason why I have him a little lower. I just like J. Jeff, man. There's something in this LSU water, and we're going to talk about it probably towards the end, just because I have another LSU rookie in my top 20, but it's not in our consensus. But we'll talk about it a little later.
No, but it's Thielen. I think he's a solid wide receiver 2 option. I don't think you can go wrong with him.
100% no. I mean, I have him 23. I have him at 23. I mean, that's like fringe wide receiver 2, 3. I'm not. It's not like I'm not ranking him outside my top 30, man. You're still taking him as a wide receiver 2 or 3. I just view a few more people higher than him. And that's as simply as that. I mean, I think you can expect touchdown regression. I think after seeing what J. Jeff can do, and also Irv Smith, when he was getting targets, I think he was very efficient with the limited targets he got, and I think he can be a red zone target for Kirk Cousins. Obviously, Dalvin Cook being the main guy in the red zone for him.
When it comes to regression, who do you think is more likely to regress? A guy who gets red zone targets such as Thielen, or a guy who's going to get long bomb touchdowns such as Jefferson? Who's more likely to regress in that situation?
Or you can see the passing of the torch, man.
Yeah,
I know, but once they got to the red zone, Thielen scored a lot of those touchdowns.
Yeah,
Jefferson
he's still going to be the red zone guy.
got those 50-yard bombs. So which one's more likely? The Vikings going to the red zone?
I think you're
or those 50-yard bombs going against Jefferson?
I think you're just ignoring the fact that there's a new young gun being involved in the red zone, like Irv Smith, outside of Dalvin Cook, for Thielen to compete with in the red zone. I'm not saying that he's not going to get red zone targets at all. I'm just saying that you can expect, possibly, you can make an argument for it. Maybe not expect is probably the wrong word, but you can make an argument for a touchdown regression for an older guy like Thielen.
True that.
That's all I'm saying. Like, to each his own, man. I ranked him a little lower. That's all.
That's true.
That's it.
All right, let's move on to 19. Our consensus pick is Cooper Kupp.
Little old Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
I didn't even have
the PPR stud, Cooper Kupp. He finally has a competent, accurate quarterback in Matthew Stafford. So I'm excited what he's going to do.
Do you really think Matthew Stafford is that much of an upgrade? Because Kupp was,
Jared Goff was horrible, man.
Jared Goff was just so bad. Matthew Stafford is he's a competent, good quarterback. And then you have Goff, who can't hit anyone down the field. He gets blitzed. He's like panicking back there. I don't know. I like Stafford a lot better. And the Rams had the 4th easiest schedule for wide receivers in fantasy this year. So that's another exciting stat. So he's a high floor guy. I mean,
he's kind of like a Keanen Allen. He's kind of like a Keanen Allen type, that's kind of like a high floor, low ceiling guy. Someone you can rely on, especially in PPR. I know he had that one year, like I was referencing earlier in 2019, he had 10 touchdowns. He's probably not going to touch that ever again. But it's just getting those consistent targets, getting those quick points, just quick catches. And hopefully he does get a few touchdowns, though. Hopefully a handful.
Yeah, I think he will, especially Stafford at the helm. And he's always a guy who gets targets in the red zone anyways.
Yeah.
Brian, anything to say on Cooper Kupp? Where do you have him?
I'm trying to find Robert Woods' ADP to compare it to.
Woods is higher.
Woods
Really?
is higher?
Yeah, man, Woods is higher. I'm using my best ball stuff that I've been using. He's been going first before Cooper Kupp every single draft. I've done 12 of them so far.
Yeah, you're right. So
Wow.
Woods
wonder
is
why.
going back of the 4th, and Kupp is going a little bit early in the. So value-wise, I mean, I'm
Kupp is the
based on where you guys
value.
have Kupp, right?
Yeah, Cooper Kupp's the value, and I have Woods at 21. I have Cooper Kupp at 18, so it's not too much of a difference. But Robert Woods does give you, some rushes, which is unique for a receiver because they do it to put him on an end around a lot. And he actually got a touchdown or two last year just on a run. So he gives you unique ways to score. But I think that's probably why maybe people view him a little higher than him.
No, Woods, they gave him rushes too.
Yeah, that's who I was talking
That's what
about.
he's talking about.
Not Kupp.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying Kupp.
Yeah, I always like to grab Woods. He's like I don't know. He's just so safe.
I forget if I traded with your brother. I think I gave up Woods, and he ended up giving me someone last year because I was like, "Yeah, Woods is great, man." And so he actually.
Hey, we were talking about that trade.
Oh, you gave up?
Ago.
I gave up Woods because he was having a great year. I think he was wide receiver 12 or 13 at the time, and he needed a receiver. And
he ended up doing pretty good for him too.
He actually did because he was 0-5 or 0-6 at the time. He was the dot on the league. And
he gave you Lamar Jackson and Michael Thomas
to pair up because I think I had Andrews, I think. Or some one of the no, it was Pat Mahomes. I had Tyreek, and he gave me Pat Mahomes with someone.
No, Brian traded Pat Mahomes.
So it had to be Lamar then. It had to be Lamar.
Yeah, it was Lamar.
And I made a bold move for Mike Thomas, and just never panned out, and that's just why I exited out of the playoffs early last year.
Yeah, but everyone was so mad at that trade.
But I keep telling you guys, you can't veto. You can't want to veto. You don't know what's going to happen.
I know. We got to change.
I made a move. It was a good move. Just didn't pay off.
You just got to trust in the process, huh?
Exactly, man.
Next guy, Dionte Johnson at 20 consensus.
I had him at 20.
I didn't have him in my top 20, mainly because I feel like Ben Roethlisberger's just getting worse and worse every year, and Dionte Johnson keeps dropping the ball. I mean, I don't know. He's getting a lot of targets, which is great.
Yeah, he gets a lot of targets.
I think he was like top 3 in targets last year.
Yeah, he gets a lot of targets.
11.4
things I like
amongst the 12 games he was healthy, which is freakish. I mean, if you're going to expect double-digit targets in a game, I mean, sign me up, man. Sign me up every time, especially for PPR. Yeah, he might drop a couple, but hopefully his focus is a lot better this year. I did read a couple little blogs on Pittsburgh, and he said he was catching tennis balls as a training thing for this offseason. So, aim small, miss small kind of thing for shooting. So he's kind of like focus on the small target. Maybe you can catch the big rock coming at you. So we'll see if that pays off for him.
Obviously they want to get him the ball.
So let me actually give me a one word, or you can actually give a little comment on a little bit. So based on the ADP of the 3 Pittsburgh wide receivers, who would you rather have? We have Dionte Johnson going in the 6th, Chase Claypool going in the 7th round, or Juju going in the 8th round. So who do you see based on that value? So everyone's 1 round apart.
I'll probably go Claypool in the 7th. I think there's more upside.
Upside wise, yeah, I think Claypool can.
And they're all going in the top of the round too.
Yeah, I honestly, I still like Dionte just because the volume kills, man. Double digit. I think he's still going to get. I mean, if it comes down from 11.4 to like 9.8 or 9 something, you're getting 9 targets a game. Come on, man, and he should at least catch 7 of those every single game.
Is there a team that has more fantasy implications than more than the Steelers? I don't even think the Chiefs do. If you think about Najee Harris, Juju, Claypool, Dionte.
Well, but outside of Dallas too, yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, Dallas too. Yeah,
that's right. And I mean, you can argue. Outside the run game,
Bengals,
Tampa Bay. Bengals is an up and comer. I mean, that's why we're gonna talk about them soon, man. I can't wait. But Bengals too have 3-star studs and a big running back like Joe Mixon. So yeah, that's an up and coming offense that could be like a Dallas this year. Although they have a really tough division, obviously, with Cleveland defense improving, Pittsburgh and Baltimore always have tough defenses in cold weather, so it's gonna be tough.
So you're actually speaking on Cincinnati
as being a big, kind of like a sleeper team for an offense to be kind of overpowered. Because I like Joe Burrow. I have him in my top 10. I actually have him at 10. I have him at 10.
we went over our top.
He threw 45 times a game before he got hurt. Like that guy just chucks the rock, and he has 3 great receivers. I mean, come on.
So we basically went over our conscious top 20
consensus. Say with me, buddy. Consensus.
Conscious consensus. Shit. You
Say with me.
You need a conscious.
So now when we went over that, let's go over some of the wide receivers that kind of missed the cut. So you actually had Jamar Chase, I think, at 20, right?
At 20, yeah. And I mean, he has upside to be in the top 10 like Justin Jefferson did, man. I remember Justin Jefferson was the number 2 wide receiver in that LSU offense with Joe Burrow at the helm. Yeah, guess what? Joe Burrow is also Jamar Chase's quarterback again. And to say that he opted out in 2020 and he still was the number 1 receiver selected says a lot about the kid and his skill set. And I can say kid because I am older than this kid. So, and I will say
we're getting old, man.
We are getting old, man. Time is flying. But I want to say that, okay, so J. Jeff went for 1,407 touchdowns last year. Remarkable rookie season. If you remember OBJ's rookie year, another LSU Tiger, 91 for 1,303 and 12 touchdowns. I'm not saying he's going to get 12 touchdowns, but there's just something in this LSU water out there in the old bayou. Go Tigers. I will say that Jamar Chase, you can expect some highlights. I have him as a modest ranking at 20, but I would not be shocked if you see him in the top 10 this year. I am that bullish on him. I will be playing him a lot in DFS. I guess I'm a DFS player as well. I think he's great. I think the kid is awesome.
You're going to have him above the other Bengal receivers then, like Higgins.
100%.
Boyd.
100%.
You think he's going to be the number 1 guy?
That chemistry between that chemistry is going to be big. I mean, he had 20 touchdowns that year at the age of 19. I mean,
it's college though, man.
It's the SEC too, though, man. I mean, I'm not saying that.
It's a bold take.
It's a bold take. I think
every offensive player on LSU got drafted. It's basically an NFL team going against college teams at that point. Like, it's not even fair. Until
they play Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, but still, LSU was a lot better than Alabama still. I think T. Higgins actually would be better than Jamar Chase, personally.
That's fine. We can have a little wager on the side, buddy. I'm going to have to take your money.
We did.
We can have another song bet.
Oh, we know. I don't know if I had the screenshots on. I did trade in my phone for a new phone here. So, but anyway, we do usually have some side bets. We can make a couple others. Don't worry.
Yeah, we can have it. Let me actually run down the list of some of the wide receivers that missed the cut, and you can let me know your opinion on them. So we'll start off with DJ Moore going back to the 5th round.
Yeah, I like DJ Moore. Obviously,
I like DJ Moore.
Yeah. More than Robbie Anderson.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's a more big play guy. And especially at the end of the year, they were giving it way more to DJ Moore, and he was breaking it loose.
DJ Moore is the guy in that receiving core. I think he's the most consistent. He gets open, he gets separation. Robbie Anderson is a big play waiting to happen. But DJ Moore is the target guy.
Yeah, we'll see what he does with Darnold too. Actually, a guy can get it down the field. It's gonna be exciting.
How about Kenny Galladay, who signed like one of the biggest contracts this offseason?
I don't trust Galladay. I'm not going to pick up Galladay. I don't trust Daniel Jones.
It's really because of Daniel Jones. It's not that I don't trust Galladay. I think Galladay's great. And I just really don't trust Daniel Jones. I think he's going to be his last. This might be his last year as a quarterback, as a starting quarterback.
Kenny Galladay
makes it through the year.
That too. That stumble. Galladay. Hey, that stumble that he had. Poor. Oh God, I felt bad for that guy. And against the Eagles, I think it was. Where you like.
Kenny Galladay actually, according to PFF, actually has one of the worst wide receiver separation in terms of yards.
He's a big body guy.
I think he might even be like number 1 if I remember right. Like, because a lot of his catches, yeah, they look amazing because he's jumping over everyone, but he's not getting open. That's one of the problems.
You got to throw him open. I think it's kind of one of those things. You got to throw him open, put in his radius, which is a pretty wide radius, and he'll just go up and get it. But still, I don't know. I don't trust Daniel Jones, man. And Saquon is going to be healthy too, and he's the first option there.
Yeah, here's a guy I like, Brandon Ayuk.
I was actually going to get to him next, but how about Tyler Lockett first?
He's cool. I just don't.
Boring.
Yeah, it's kind of like he will win you weeks, but as far as overall, like week in week out, I can't trust the guy.
Yeah, I don't know. He's boring. He's inconsistent.
But he will have a splash week where he'll get you 2 or 3 touchdowns in a week and also go for like 10 catches for over 150 yards. Or
only when he plays me. That's the only time.
Really? Okay. That's the time to have him then, guys.
How about which 49er wide receiver would you rather have? Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk?
I like Ayuk, man.
Yeah, I agree.
But they're both good. They're both good. I like Ayuk though. I liked what I saw out of him last year. I think he's kind of like Robert Woods too. They kind of use him that way as well. They kind of get him on end arounds or and things like that. They kind of get him the ball in different ways. And I kind of like that. Just different touches that you can score, and you kind of like that for fantasy.
Yeah, they get him the ball. And the 49ers actually have the easiest ranked wide receiver
Really?
fantasy. Yeah, coming up.
I like Baldy with the ADP stuff, and then Yosef hit me with the strength of schedule. Man, I like
we're
that.
well balanced here.
And I guess I got
Mafia.
And then I got like the fun fact type stats with PFF and things like that. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, man, we're well balanced.
Two wide receivers that are going very close to each other. Odell Beckham or Chase Claypool? Who would you rather?
Chase Claypool.
All right, man. You know what? I want to come back from OBJ so bad.
I do too.
I really want it. But they're, if you really think about it, they're pretty much the same. Like as far as like the way they play, they're very flashy. And they're big plays waiting to happen. They can take any ball to the house, no matter how close to the line of scrimmage they get the ball. And that's a tough one, man. I wouldn't me. It would just be depending on what my roster needs. Kind of the kind of player I kind of want. If I can take a risk, I might go OBJ because you can take him as a wide receiver 3 and he can end up being your top receiver. Whereas Claypool, I mean, man, in that offense, there's so many mouths to feed, like we were just talking about, with Najee Harris joining the helm. So there's upside for sure for Claypool, but it's somewhat limited if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Plus, Browns are getting more of like a running team. They ran it so much with Chubb and then Hunt. And
but when you look at it, like OBJ is really their only receiver that's like a solid receiver when healthy, although it hasn't connected with Baker Mayfield yet. But they trust him. They haven't ran him out of town yet, and I think there's a reason for that. I think there's just something there, and I'm reading into it a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully they do something with him.
A wide receiver no one talks about. So he had a really good rookie campaign, and then last year kind of fell off. They upgraded the quarterback position with the first overall pick, DJ Shark.
Baby Shark, do baby.
What do you think about him going closer to the? He's getting drafted closer to the back of the 7th.
I'm not too excited about him, honestly. Like last year, there was a lot of hype that he was going to be like a steal in the later rounds, but he didn't do much. I know his quarterback play wasn't that good. Now he has a rookie. Just nothing really exciting. He's like a deep play, deep ball kind of guy. He's not really a PPR stud in any form. So if he's there like late in the rounds, like no one's picking him up, yeah, I'll get him. But I'm not looking at him.
I'm with Seth on that, man, and I'm big on Visca. I like Visca more. So I think his ADP has more value to me than Chark at 7. I mean, I think we were talking about like which Pittsburgh wide receiver we'd have in 6, 7, or 8. I'd have any one of those. I'd even have Juju over DJ Chark if you're really asking me. Yeah. And I'm not buying what people are selling out there. And if you're looking up at rankings at other sites and stuff, or outside of the fantasy football mafia, and you're saying like, oh, Jacksonville's offense might be pretty good, I'm not buying it. I think they're going to be pretty mediocre or worse, or still bottom third of the league. I really don't think they're going to be that great. I like T-Law as a prospect, but I still think they're going to struggle. So
how about Michael Pittman from the Colts? He's going in one of the last picks of the 8th round.
I just for the Colts in general.
And some of a heads up, some of the names that are going around him, so you get an idea, is Kenyon Drake, AJ Dillon, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
so those are the type of players you're drafting around.
Just with Carson Wentz being there, it really hurts the whole Colts team for me.
You don't think he can get back to any ounce of what he was in Philly?
They keep saying that, like he's going to be back. I mean, yeah, he's finally going to have a good offensive line. So we see we can
very good offensive line.
Yeah, very good. But you just saw his mechanics. Even with his mechanics last year, he was just off. So
I think it was more confidence too, and then just like the team didn't like him. I think, and no one in that locker room trusted him, and that's a big thing too. But
for me, I have to see it to believe it. I'm not going to take a chance. I'm not a big risk kind of guy. So.
And he's a big, he was great with Frank Reich, and Frank Reich is at the helm, man. Again, that kind of aligns with how I view Justin Herbert, right? Do coaching staff and things like that. It's not his guy. Then it's not Brandon Staley's guy, Justin Herbert, but he wanted that job because of Herbert. I don't
Here's
know, man.
one
I don't know.
who lit up the season a little bit early, but now has a different quarterback. Davante Parker going with the last pick of the 12th round.
Seth, we should just skip this part. X this out because he's talking about Dolphin picks.
Let's get someone who's relevant. Like, is there a relevant receiver you want to bring up?
So
bring up Jalen Waddle then.
Let me bring up the names that are going right before and right after Davante Parker, and you let me know.
Nobody cares about Parker.
Young Ho Koo is going right before Davante Parker.
I'll take the kicker.
And the Niners defense is going right behind Davante Parker.
I am taking Young Ho Koo. Young Hui. It's actually Young Hui Koo. And that guy was, hey man, that guy won me weeks. That guy was so consistent, like 12 to 13 points off kicks, man. I can't depend on Davante Parker. Come on,
he got his Jeep stolen. What was that on the news?
He's like bringing back my
in there.
You know, hey, look, if I went running back heavy and I really needed a wide receiver and he was there, possibly Brian, to make you happy, but
I don't know. Without Fitzpatrick, he's done literally nothing. Like the only time he's been good is with Fitzpatrick.
I just think the weapons that they brought in this year, they're going to spread the ball a lot more with Fuller, Waddle. That's why I'm just not too high.
If Fuller can stay healthy and not use PEDs to cheat, man, come on now.
Plus, the quarterback sucks.
A weak arm. You got a noodle arm.
He's better than Darnold. He is better than Darnold. Are you kidding?
Very true. I'll take him over Darnold. I'll take Tua.
I don't know. We'll have to see with Darnold in his new offense. He's
Tua came into the season with like a broken hip. Like, forget even
we're
like
gonna do this again.
It's bullshit. For him. It's blasphemy.
Again.
And then one other name I just want to get into is the Ravens wide receivers. Anyone from there that you want to pick up?
No.
I'm staying away from the wide receivers. I mean, except for Hollywood Brown.
Maybe.
I think one receiver that people are not mentioning though, and I like this kid in college, was out of Oklahoma State, Theilen Wallace. I think he's like he's going to be fighting for a spot because obviously Rashad Bateman was the main guy they took, but Theilen Wallace is a great player. And Devin Duvernay from last year when they picked him out of Texas, I expect him to play a lot of stuff out of the slot, a lot of snaps out of the slot. So I think there's more underrated receivers that you can get as a late round flyer. Maybe not Theilen Wallace. I think he's going to be more of an FA guy that could surprise him if he gets a spot. But Devin Duvernay is probably one person that I'm going to probably mention as a deep late round flyer if you want to. I like him. I think they do too, Baltimore. So
yeah, he's a guy we haven't mentioned that I'm actually pretty excited about. I want to see what you guys are going to. Are you?
Him? Oh, go ahead.
Curtis Samuel, who's in Washington.
Washington.
So he's got a new quarterback. And
it's magic.
Who makes every receiver look good, fantasy wise at least. And Curtis Samuel is really talented. He did, very good with Carolina last year with Teddy Bridgewater at the helm. So, and he's going to be probably the number 2 in the Washington offense, and he was like number 3 in Carolina. I feel like he's going to have a great year, and he's someone who's not even going to get drafted until like 12th, 13th round, maybe.
I think there's a reason for that, but
I'll explain.
He's just one of those wide receivers who was having to be the 3rd wide receiver on the team, had like an okay season, and then some team gave him a huge contract, and he's gonna get released in 2 years. Oh man.
So you don't think he's gonna have a great season?
No.
He's dynamic. I like him. I like Curtis Samuel in that offense, especially with Fitzmagic. I mean, he just chucks the ball around, and
Do you really think he's gonna be like a PPR machine wide receiver?
No, I don't know about a PPR machine, but because I mean, the Terry McLaurin's the PPR machine there. I have T-Mac at, or I should say F1, because I think he doesn't like T-Mac or Scary Terry, at 10th. So Terry's the clear guy. Logan Thomas is probably number 2, or maybe even 3, because Antonio Gibson's going to be getting targets out of the backfield. But outside of that, Curtis Samuel did a lot of good things, especially when Cam Newton was vintage Cam Newton in Carolina.
Damn.
And so I like Curtis Samuel. I feel what you're putting out there, Seth, and I do like Curtis Samuel as far as one of those late round pickups.
I think Jamison Crowder is like a better Curtis Samuel.
You know what? He is not being talked about at all. I think there's some people thinking that Elijah Moore and the other guy they brought in, Corey Davis, is going to just like completely take Jamison Crowder out of this offense when Crowder's just been nothing but productive. And like everywhere he's been,
quarterback. So
I don't even know what's going to go on with the Jets.
That's true.
You got a new coach.
We don't know, but I still find it odd that like the most productive receiver, and there's a reason why they kept him because he's been so productive.
They were going to release him though.
Oh, they did. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they said take a pay cut or we're going to cut you. He took a $5 million pay cut.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
But anyway, I like Jameson Crowder too, though. He's a great player.
All right, there's one.
If Darnold was there,
we might want to wrap this up too, guys. Man,
yeah, there's one
People
more
are gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, one more receiver I want to talk about. He's not really relevant. He's actually kind of trash, but I feel like we should bring him up, and that's Henry Ruggs.
Oh Jesus, man! All right, good night, guys.
Was it Andrew who says like Ruggs is going to surprise people? Like who was it? Or did I read it somewhere?
No,
I mean, a lot of people, any Raider is going to surprise people. Like
a lot of people have been writing it off. Writing about it too. I've read plenty of articles of. Looked at notes. I follow Raiders everywhere, of course, Twitter, whatever, blog articles.
What are they saying?
I mean, they're expecting him to turn the corner. They want him to do more. I mean, my problem with Henry Ruggs, especially last year, is that they wanted to use him as a Tyreek Hill. Gruden went on record saying like he's our Tyreek Hill, and you didn't give him the ball in different ways. You literally just put some bubble screens out there and told him to run deep. Maybe that was partly because they didn't know the route tree. He still needed refinement in different routes. But
Gruden's just not a good head coach.
But like, why not? But why not do the shovel passes? Why not do like the other creative ways that Andy Reid gets Tyreek Hill the ball? I mean, you play him twice a year. You watch film. Why don't you just steal a couple plays from him? Anyway, but I would like to believe that he's going to turn the corner. I haven't seen anything out of him that hasn't really changed. I do follow him on IG. I mean, he's out there working, but I got to see a little bit. I want to see some scrimmage play. I want to see some preseason games. I want to see if they're going to really commit to him, like they say they are.
Yeah, he really needs to step it up and add more to his arsenal to really be any fantasy relevant.
100%, man. 100%. But it's Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs, man. Those are the two guys. If you're going to pick up anybody in the Raiders offense, it's Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller. And if you need speed or you want a big play receiver on your wide receiver core on your fantasy roster, I mean, Henry Ruggs is not bad for like a wide receiver 4 or 5 on your roster. I mean, you got upside.
Yeah, if you really want to get really, really, really desperate, yeah, you can do that.
Shut the hell up, man.
If you want to get desperate, go with the Raiders.
Oh my God.
Well, we'll leave it at
Daniel
that.
Carson's also a good fantasy kicker if you still have a kicker league on your fantasy team.
Yeah, we do. Because
he's indoor. I prefer indoor kickers. Those every single one of them are 1 through whatever, and then everybody outdoors down below. I don't care what team they're on. If you're indoors because you're indoors, I mean, for half your games,
definitely. That's like
it's crucial, man. So
I'd rather just have a kicker on a good offense, and I don't think the Raiders have a good offense. So
Daniel Carson finished in the top 10 in kickers, though. I'll say
that. All right, so we're gonna get into next episode. We're getting into the tight ends, right? We're gonna do 1 through 10. I don't think we need to do more than that because, I mean, it's gonna be after 4 or 5. It's gonna be pretty tough, but we'll get a good list going for you guys. Help you guys out.
And I can't believe I actually really mentioned kickers on this damn episode, man. Kickers are
We're going to do a whole episode on kickers.
It's funny. I was actually going to say, do we do like a top 5 defense and top 5 kickers and just smash
No, we're definitely not doing kickers, man. I hope that you don't air the kicker take that I just put out there.
Do you think kickers should even be?
No, it should not be. There's a reason why FanDuel and DK completely took kickers off their product because it's stupid. Stupid.
Is this something you take into consideration?
Huh?
Take him out of our league, you think?
100%. Tell Andrew to do it. I literally wrote down a checklist for Andrew to consider. Like,
he's dropping out. He's not going to play this year. Apparently,
really?
He says that.
Oh, whatever. I guess I hurt his feelings last year. Sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, you beat him too bad.
I beat Andrew. You guys beat Andrew?
Of course, I did.
Everyone beat Andrew.
Everyone beat Andrew.
It's just like a little thing you just beat, man.
Yeah, every episode we somehow talk shit about Andrew. Have you noticed Andrew hasn't talked to us like in 2 or 3 days?
I wonder why. Nice. All right, we have to end this thing. See you guys next episode. Thank you for joining us, Joey. He's going to be a new member of the Mafia.
Hell yeah!
Episodes
appreciate y'all having me, man.
Of course,
be a part of the fam.
Tight ends coming up.
That's it.
Draft strategies coming up. Stay tuned.
All right.
Thank you for watching.